Previously on Project IGI.
The castle has been here since the 1300s. X been using it for the last year. The castle was originally KGB controlled but was transferred to the military in 1990. The military had no use for it, so left it to rot. X paid the local commander to turn a blind eye. Satellite imagery shows new constructions amongst the ruins. I don't have any hard data though. Surveillance has identified about 30 troops. Some training areas, nothing really heavy. There's at least one chopper. Expect a gunship.
In short, enter the base. Find the bomb. Capture Ek. If this is not possible, termination will satisfy the chiefs of staff. Then secure the area, and we fly you and the bomb out. David, you must take care. We've got so close. I don't want anything to go wrong. Please, no rash mistakes.
Hello and welcome back to Project IGI. Jones didn't have a lot to say during that cutscene, but that's okay, I probably do. And it's telling us to locate the tunnel to the surface. We're not underground. Objectives are pretty straightforward this time, we just have to find Ek and the bomb and get rid of her. Well, that doesn't sound like too much trouble. Have a look at the map. Oh yes, in fact we are. We're not exactly inside the castle, we're a little bit further down the slope from it. That's quite a long way down. But if we take a look at where we currently are, the perspective sort of shows us that we're slightly underneath, so I'm guessing that we're going to have to make our way into the castle, as Sonia said, through some sort of tunnel. And if we look at the introduction cutscene, we can actually see a little bit more about that. One of my favourite parts of this is on the extreme left. You can see the cable car actually coming in while it's animating, which I thought was quite nice. On this freeze frame of the cutscene, we'll just point out some things that are missing. Some of the walls that should be located around here and here and here. They are missing for whatever reason. And also on top of that, where the R is pointing, you can see what appears to be a tunnel of some sort, and that's not on the map. Well, that's actually the underground tunnel. For some reason, in this introduction cutscene, we appear to have X-ray vision. It's very weird, but that shows us which way we need to be going. Okay, let's check a look and see what weapons we've got. We've got a Glock, MP5, and a Dragunov. It's not bad, it's a good silenced kit, it's plenty to be working with. First step is to get rid of these two chumps. Just line them up. They seem to be taking more hits than usual. Before we move on, we'll just take a step back here and remind you of something else that happened in the intro cutscene. You had two guys standing around while the cable car was arriving, but they've disappeared. And in fact, these guys, this particular model, doesn't appear anywhere else in the level. Just in this cutscene. Oh. Ah, okay. That wasn't so bad. Now that the enemies are a little bit harder and a little bit quicker on the draw, this is one way to take care of them. Appears to be the control room for the cable car here. It's a little odd that it has a window, but it doesn't look out onto the cable car itself. You can't see it arriving or anything. That was the door that leads to the tunnel that takes us inside the castle, but we're not going to go there yet. We're still going to have a little bit of a look around. See it? Yes, it is very far down. But with a bit of careful jumping, we can get away on top of this particular platform and kind of look around. There's not really anywhere to go from here. If we fall, we're going to die, and there's no way on top of that other extra bit of roof. We're not going to get the opportunity to look at the scenery. We're going to be looking at walls for the rest of the level, so this is a little visual aside. The winch machinery behind the fence there, it's a nice touch. We do, however, have a mission to take care of. Nope. We can safely avoid this guy if we wanted to, but... Damn it. Whatever's down here better be worth it. And it's M16 ammo. We don't even have an M16. Okay. Well, the door's closed. Looks like we're heading back down the tunnel and taking the other fork. Short note about the two guys that were in this tunnel. If you open the door and pop through, that will spawn them ahead of you if you just step back and wait. Eventually, the first one will come walking around the corner. stop here, and then the second one will eventually turn up behind him. They'll both just kind of hang about at the same point. Not really doing anything. Tunnel systems like these become a regular feature over the final 3 levels. This time, though, we just get a little bit of a minor introduction to them. From the map, it seems that we're moving towards some kind of surface feature. I'm guessing that's going to be the way out. I hate it when they have guys on the other side of the doors. Oh. I hate it when they have guys on the other side of the door and they're just automatically facing you. You really do have to crouch and try and get them as quickly as you can. Here's me trying to fuck around and get myself crushed by the door, but it's too smart for me. But the guys on the other side of the door, you don't have any opportunity to know that they're going to be there in advance or anything. You can't scout them or anything like that. It's very irritating. And as I said, there's going to be a lot of tunnels in the near future, so that's going to be something that's going to happen quite a lot. And we do indeed seem to be coming out of that structure. And a guy patrolling in the outside. Check the map again. Yeah, he's still there. We've got also another guy up in the ramparts of the castle. Get a closer look at those when we actually step outside. Quietly take care of him. Find ourselves a quiet place to hang out, and then we'll take a look at what we're up against. This map is all about getting from one side of the castle to the other, and it's fairly linear in a sense. We kind of weave our way around all of the different sections of the castle. In this particular portion we have to make our way to the left. There's an archway over there we eventually have to go through. And we've got 2 ways we can do that. We can either go along the same ground floor level that we're at now, or we can in fact climb up on top of the ramparts and make our way along that. One of the problems that we've got is that all of the guys have an extremely long viewing range and they can kick our ass from a very, very far away. The enemy difficulty has really been ramped up from this point, and I may make, well, the majority of this level look fairly straightforward, but to be honest, most of it is in fact just luck. I've managed to get through situations where they just happen to miss me. Believe me, more often than not, I've had my ass handed to me more times than I can count. At the corners of most of these boxed off sections of the castle, we'll find a little tower that we can climb. They come in 2 variations. This is one of them. It's just a long straight ladder all the way to the top. Once we're up here, we'll not go the way we're meant to. We'll go the other direction. This is a dead end. It doesn't lead anywhere. It'll give us a chance to have a look at the next section that we'll be coming to once we go through the archway. We've got a garage with 2 tanks inside. Okay, we can see that the ramparts indeed continue through the interior of the castle, and we've got plenty of guys roaming around there. Why you wouldn't put all of those guys around the absolute edges of the castle, I don't know. Check the map, we can see that there's an actual entrance, 1 or 2 entrances into the castle. It's guarded by 2 watchtowers. If we jump, yep, they can see us straight away, so we'll not go that way anymore. As you might imagine, going along the ramparts isn't particularly exciting, because it's a chance to look over the wall at other areas, and we can, if we want to, snipe all of the people on the ramparts across the map, but I'll only take out 1 or 2, just the ones that we're meeting immediately. Usually when I play this level, when I come out of that little building that led from the lift, I would just take the opportunity to snipe 4 or 5 people just to get them out of the way. This will also be the only time that I actually use the ramparts to get around. I'll be using the ground floor for the rest of the time. Just skip the way down and go around this way. This is another dead end, but this time, rather than just hitting a wall, it's actually a bit of destroyed ramparts. If we want, we can slide down. If we're very careful, we can drop off the other side and actually get outside of the castle. Of course, we've got no health and there's nothing to do out here, so it's pretty much wasted time. If you listen very, very carefully, you might just hear someone shooting at us. He's hanging out over there, but unfortunately the ramparts are just that little bit too high and he can't get us. Poor guy. Time to make our way down to the ground floor. Back to this tower, we can see that it's a different configuration than the first one. It's actually got 2 sections, just for variety. Wee. Trying to make our way through the archway. Let's go and see what that guy dropped. He dropped a mini me. That's I guess we can add it to the collection. It's not as if we're actually going to use it. Hop through the archway and Anya chimes in. Yes, dear, I think I noticed already. Got a large entranceway there ahead of us. We'll see about that in a moment. We're in a new area now, and we've got another archway to get to, but we'll have to do quite a large U-turn to get there. We need to stay on the left-hand side when we're going down here, just because there's guys who can pick us off if we hang around on the right. Looking behind us, we've got a guy on the ramparts, and on the building is another chap. Because we stayed to the left, he hasn't picked us up, and he's generally someone he'll be the guy who'll do all the damage to when you come through this area. And then we can go and have a look at the garages. Before we do that, if we did make our way up to that gate, which is quite obviously locked, Anya says, the gate's locked, find another way through, fairly standard stuff. In the garage itself, as you may already have noticed, there are 2 tanks. They don't do anything, you can't trigger them off or anything like that. The base itself doesn't have any alarms whatsoever, so there's no need to worry about any kind of reinforcements or anything like that. Does however lead one to question as to why you would need 2 tanks in an abandoned castle on top of a mountain where the only real practical way of getting to it is by cable car. Okay, let's go and take a look at this front entrance. We've already got someone onto us. Looks like he still remembers seeing us on the ramparts earlier on. See the gates in front. We'll check out this one guy. Taking a lot of damage. You really don't need to come here. You can completely avoid this portion of the level. It's just here for show. But for some goddamn reason, I'm gonna lose half my health. All for no real reason. We've already seen all there is to see. 2 towers and a closed gate. So let's head back. At this point you can choose to go up on top of the ramparts through this tower, but we're not going to do that. We're going to head off to the left and go behind the garages. That gives us another way into the section that we need to be getting to. Like I said before, I'm not going to bother with the ramparts, I'm just going to take the ground floor for the most of the time. Just on top of these boxes, over that wall, and then we're ready to go. I mentioned how much I hate the jumping in this game. Fuck. This guy can see us from here. For some reason he hasn't tweaked on that we're actually standing about looking at him. If you follow the ramparts along, you can see it bypasses over this wall to the tower and then down, and that would take us out here as well. But we didn't go this way. We went probably the much quicker way. Let's jump in and take a look at this very familiar building. We have a look around, but there's no one here. There's something very particular about this room that kind of caught me and made me sort of want to have a bit of a closer look around. You can see me poking around behind this drinks machine. What I want you to do here is to check how wide this wall is. This gives the impression that this is the outer wall. So we've got, say, that wide. We go outside and have a look. You can see that it's much wider. I'm just going to shoot where sort of the line of where the drinks machine would be. And if we flash back to the 3rd mission, this is the one where we had to get Zach Preboy out of the underground sort of prison cell area. It's the same building, but it's missing the drinks machine and it's got a doorway instead. Fortunately, there's no way around that drinks machine, so we can't get in and have a look. Oh well. On top of the roof, we can pick up this guy's gun, and there's another way down, and that's about it. There's not really anything else to pick up here. Still annoyed that I couldn't find a way into that hidden area. Way. Only kidding, of course I find a way around it. Who the fuck do you think's doing this, LP? Right, okay, here's how it goes. I found this completely by accident. Okay, go up the ladder, then we have to nip across the roof onto this sort of extended section out here. And the way that it works is this wall has a little kind of collision box divot here. We can push against this and we can sort of sidestep it and get around it, but it's just this kind of little notch there. But the important one is there's another one and it's on the way back just here. Now if we walk past that at just the right angle and touch the wall at just the right time, we'll pass through the wall. And we drop down into the hidden section and then we can have a look around. You can see that it's exactly the same as the prison area that was there before in Mission 3. It's got the cells and it's got none of the doors and nothing to pick up or anything like that. Obviously you're not meant to get down here. If we flash back to Mission 3, we can indeed do exactly the same thing, even though we've got the doorway to get down there. This is just to show that we can clip through this too. I did try this on the first level, because this is the very first building that you come across in the entire game, but I couldn't do it in that one. Making our way back up top, we can see the doorway here. The drinks machine's on the other side, we just can't see it. And I'd also like to point out something else. You may have noticed this. If you go too close to a wall, you can see that Jones pulls his gun back, and it's a touch I always liked. You can see it again when we go up to where the drinks machine should be. The gun pulls back, all the way back. And what we can do is step inside where the drinks machine is and kind of lean out. And we can see that it is in fact there. And that's that. We can take a step out and we can get back in. Right, that's enough of that. Okay, that's the second area of the castle done. Let's get on to the third one. Take a look at the map first. Our objective is to come in from the bottom right and then we'll go up north and to where the guard HQ is. A barracks and a bunch of men walking around. Oh, there's one coming right now. We'll try and take him out as quietly as we can. Oh, shit, you can see what the reaction times of these guys are like now. You really do have to kind of try to get up behind them. But we're okay for now. We'll take out these guys from a distance. And with that done, pop into the office building. There's not really anything in here except for this. Without this, your chances of surviving this level are probably slim to none. Go all the rest of the way out the back of the building, and that's where we get up onto the ramparts. A tower will take us up there, and then we go around behind where the barracks were and end up dropping down at another tower up near the guard HQ. But we're not going to be going that way. Back in and then all the way through. Takes us out into the area where we sniped that guy on the ground floor. And we've got 3 barracks. Now the first one has something inside which is very useful, very useful. And it's another Dragunov. That gives us another 10 sniper ammo, and that pretty much will do us to the rest of the level. We really shouldn't have any more trouble from now on, unless we're, you know, completely retarded or something. We can skip the other 2 barracks. There's nothing interesting in there. Head up towards the gate and find that it's close and no way to get through, but thanks to Russian redundancy measures we've got another gate over here, but this one has a switch. I don't know why they didn't put a switch over there at the other side. Well, no, I'm not going to complain too hard. Well, I'm going to complain because that's really fucking stupid. But anyway, the tower beside us is where we would have come down if we'd taken the ramparts route. Did you hold your breath while I was tracking that guy? I do every single time. Area number 3 done. Now it's time to get on to the biggest of the areas. It's a really fucking wide open space with a whole bunch of guys roaming around. You can see the target destination is right in the middle. If we move the camera about, you can see it's actually underground. So we're not there yet. We've got an area up to the north of that and then off to the east. But for the moment, we're going to shoot the guys on the ground level and make sure that we're not going to get hassled by them. We'll do the usual thing and go and pop into this very familiar looking building, have a peek around. Go over, no wait, I'll call the lift first so we don't have to wait quite so long. Barracks room is empty, nothing there. Okay then, let's pop upstairs. And nothing up here either, and oh, stealthily kill this, for fuck's sake. From up here we can get a better look at the central area. You can see that it's completely fenced off all the way around. Doesn't appear to be any way over the top. It's got some kind of opening in the ground over there. Can't really see it too well though. Having a look at the map, you can kind of make out some structure at the top. There's like some boxes near the fence. It appears to be an archway that leads into that area. I guess they're worth checking out. Let's make our way back, and as usual, let's see if we can try and fall through the floor again. And it's exactly the same as the last level. We aren't normally able to get down here, so it's completely barren, and there's actually no way to get back up. There's nothing else to see here, so let's head back downstairs. And as an example of something we can do, here we are on top of the ramparts above the room with the building with the drinks machine, with the separating rampart, and we're going to try and jump onto the roof of the HQ. Well, not like that. Let's try that again. Okay, so try and jump on top of the roof of the HQ. There we go. We only lost the vast majority of our health. But at least it skipped an area where we could have got sniper ammo and health. Yeah, that was totally worth it. That archway to the left is where we need to get to eventually. We can, got this guy, and if we look through, we can see a wanker in a guard tower. He's got really long range on him. He can shoot us from here. When we push on, Anya will tell us that we need to be looking for the entrance to the underground area. No shit. So we can go to the area to the north, which eventually will lead to where we need to go, or we can go and have an explore down to the south and east. Let's do that first. Trundle our way over there, and we've got a bunch of barracks here, and we've got a rampart wall down there. One thing we can do is if we go back to where the garages were, where the tanks are, there was a wall beside that, and back here is the exit to that sort of front entrance where the two watchtowers were before. Yeah, they're still not happy with us. If we fall back to this corner, we can jump across this gap and onto the upper rampart there. You can see where the three barracks are we're standing right beside now, and that skips a huge portion of the level. These three barracks have nothing inside of them, and neither does the warehouse. So we pretty much wasted our time coming here. If we go over here, we can have a look at the arch, and it's got a locked gate there, so I don't think we're going to be getting through. Can't climb up here either. And looking back up at the ramparts there, we teleport ourselves up. And if we walk over here through the tower, we can find a closed and locked door that we can't open at all. If we take a look at it from over here, you can see that it leads out towards where the central area is, so it's probably to stop you from walking along that and then dropping down into the centre. That's about that. Let's make our way back. But before that, here's something else. We're back up on top of the rampart again that we jumped onto the HQ from. Only this time we're going to try and get into the central area. Alright, okay, let's take one, let's try take two. Well, I guess my centre of mass is inside, I guess that counts. Another thing we can do is if we push against the tower when we're falling down, we end up clipping through and falling inside. But if we try it again, but this time instead of pushing through, we just kind of let it draw us in by itself. We end up landing in this sort of cavity area here. The tower itself flares out at the bottom, leaving this gap between the inner portion and the outer wall, and that's what we're inside at the moment. We can stay inside that for as long as we like. You can see that I'm pushing against, you can't see it obviously because it's not rendering, but the rampart wall is there and I'm trying to push inside of it. And if I could do that, then I could probably follow the ramparts all the way around the level, but unfortunately it won't let me in. Lean out of the wall here and have a look at the rest of the tower from this side. Go around the other side, and then once again we can ease our way out towards the edge of the flare and have a look at the tower from there. After a bit of poking about, there's not really anything else to do. We're sort of stuck in this localized area. We just have to step out and get on with the game. So, let's see, our next objective is to get onto the other side of the bunker where that archway is. Looks like it's blocked off by that wall, so we're probably going to have to go the ramparts way again. First, let's have a look at these crates. Oh, no, hold on. Take out this guy first. For fuck's... See, I mean, that guy was so far away and he absolutely wrecked me. Alright, we'll nosy around the boxes and find that they've taken special care to make sure that there's no way on top. Again, we can't get over the fence from here. Maybe we'll have some better luck with the gate. Mosey on up to the archway, and yes, the gate is there and it is indeed locked and we can't get through it that way. If we look up at the ramparts, teleport ourselves there, we could probably make a jump across that. Let's try this, and oh, slipped. Oh, that's weird. We back up and we'll try that again, and invisible wall! Alright, well, never mind, that's not happening. Yeah, I guess we just give up on that. The warehouse has nothing inside. Once again, not going up the ramparts, we're going to go over to this seemingly impassable fence here. But first, have a look at the map for a second. Remember Anya saying that we had to find the underground base. Top left is the only area we've got left, and it has one of those little buildings that we came out of at the bottom right. And if we look at the intro again, I like the falling snow here, it's a nice touch. But if you look up at this area where the RO is, there's a tunnel there, so I think that's quite obviously where we need to be going. And over here, I don't think you're supposed to be able to make this jump. I honestly don't. It's just not easy to make these little sort of jumps and stuff. You have to get it from kind of a weird angle to get onto this. I think you're supposed to go along the ramparts, but if you can make it this way, then why not? Saves a lot of trekking. Right, time to get inside the bunker. Game tries to play a trick on you. But we're well prepared for that kind of shenanigans. A few more guys down here. Guy by the truck's really awkwardly placed. You can only really shoot him in the head and he can see you quite clearly. No, I don't think that's going to work. To be quite dexterous with your aim, which is not something I'm known for. And the second guy is to our left. You can just make out a shadow and He's waiting for us. Well, shooting through the wall doesn't seem to help. Maybe it's hitting the door, and that could be why. Looks like he's given up. Oh, shit. It's got his attention again. Alright, they're dead. There's nothing else down here, so let's just speed this up and get it done with. And here we are at the archway to the final area, but before we go in, we'll just take a look in this one room for goodies. There are none, so let's go back out. Okay, there was a watchtower over here, and usually they come in pairs. Yeah, there it is.
Stop!
Yeah, I win this time. Peek at the map shows us that we've got a guy on either side of the arch, so we'll be very careful in getting them. I'll just put my AK away and get another one. Right, and get this bloke. Fuck. Fuck. Lost almost half my health. Right, off to some new ramparts. This is to the left of the HQ, the one that divides the 3 barracks area from the final area. Look over the wall, you can see the watchtower and those 2 guys there. You can slide down this wall and drop into the final area this way. And you can also try this, if we trundle down this slope and then try to get up the other side. For some reason you clip through the wall and fall to your doom. Right, and we're done with the castle, that's it, there's no one left to kill. All we have to do is go inside and carry on at least that portion of the mission. Before we do that, we'll go pick up some ammo and check out this gate. Yeah, it's locked, there's no way in through this back entrance here. But before we actually go ahead with the rest of the mission, we're going to go right back to the very start, to the cable car room. Whoops, I fell down that hole! Oh, calamity. A little bit of jiggling here, drop down without losing any more health, and that's that, we're outside the bounds of the map, or well, the bounds of the base anyway. Go up this slope and that'll put us outside the ramparts, and then we're basically free to just look around. If we look at the map, you see it's quite a long way to get around, so I'm going to be speeding up the vast majority of this, but it's still going to take some time. I'm going to go around in a clockwise direction. First place we're going to stop is the first crack in the wall that we slid down from. That was from the first ramparts we were on top of. See a bit of masonry here, that's actually just part of another piece of geometry on the other side of the wall. Here we're approaching the rear entrance to the base where the 2 watchtowers were. We'll get rid of them so they don't spoil our little sightseeing tour. Mosey on up to the gate, and again it's locked, there's no way to get in from this side. It would have been quite cool if we could have just skipped the entire base and wandered straight in. And here we can see that the game does try to put in light maps and things. We've got the shadows of the watchtowers, but usually it's something you don't really notice. We're about to get round to the front entrance with the other 2 watchtowers, but while I'm taking care of those guys, let's have a joke. How do 2 snails settle their differences? They slug it out. Okay, those 2 are gone. Let's take a walk up to the gate. And as you might have expected, it's not possible to open it. One thing you might not have noticed, however, is that the underside of the watchtowers has a camo pattern. I don't exactly see why you would have that, but... And then just the final leg here, and we're back where we started. Off along this upper part of the roof we couldn't get to before, drop down to the section we could climb up onto, and then down onto the carriage, and that's that. Hope that was good for you, because it was a very boring 5 minutes for me. Off to the entrance, and this, ooh, that's not good. This time was also in the entrance that we came out of at the start. Coast is clear, let's grab the elevator and twiddle our thumbs waiting for it to arrive. And for it to go all the way down. This chap's standing in a very uncommon position. He's pointing the gun at the ground. It's usually the way they hold their guns whenever they're running. Aha! Slowly I turned, step by step. And the worst part of the level. Got a guy right at the very fucking end, and he can see you a mile away, and he has killed me more times than I can count. Fuck! Just when you think it's all safe, there's another guy around the corner. Shit! Good thing is, that's the final guy. We don't have to worry anymore with my pitifully small amount of health. These things appear to be, I don't know, radioactive containment vessel things. It never really makes it clear. But here's something cool you can do. It's like I'm suddenly John McClane. Okay, moving on. Time to just get to the final area. The map says we're not very far away. It's really just a straight line there. And this tunnel, and about halfway down, there's a fork. It goes off to the right. That leads to the same place. We'll see where it goes to in a second. Just keep on trucking ahead and have a look in the final room. The room where we may or may not kill Egg. Woohoo! What's gonna happen? Anya chimes in and asks us if we find Ek, and we say, well, we're gonna find her. Right in the middle of the room, you can't have missed it, is a hind. With a blade span which is too wide to get out, or in, or anything. Look how fucking wide it is. It cannot get out. Do you want to know the worst part? It's not that it's too wide. It's not sitting on a lift or anything. It's not on anything that's going to raise it up so it can fly away. It's literally going to start up and take off and just go out that hole without a fucking problem. It fucking annoys me so much. It's not Airwolf. Here's the other entrance. This is where the fork led to. But now that I've shown off the helicopter in the final room, right, I can show you some of the other things that I found that I've been putting off. In the room with the reactor stuff, there's a bit of a dodgy wall. You can just slot in there and have a look around. It shows you the final room, obviously, and the elevator thing that we came down from. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's just maybe they added a little extension on that wall and forgot to actually update the collision bounds of the level to match it, but you can slip in there and just have a peek around. Second and final thing is the wall that we could glitch through earlier. We can actually do a double glitch, fall through the wall and then through the steps. That puts us underneath the steps that lead down into that cell block area, and we can get an even earlier look around at the rest of the map. Obviously I didn't want to show that we could see the final room from here, and we'll just hide the contents of this room. Not that it really matters, but you know, I don't like spoilers of any kind. And just generally look around, see the places where we started from, blah blah blah. And then just move a little bit out of the bounds of the steps and it puts us back on top into the corridor. And then we're done. Okay, the only thing left to do is to climb up into that room which overlooks this fucking shambles. Climb the ladder and pop our way in. There's a bit of a conversation happens over text, so we'll have to read that out for you. Once it kicks off, the door closes and locks behind us so we can't get out. Jones tells Anya that he's found the bomb, but it's been dismantled. Totally dismantled! Anya says that she's seen this sort of thing in training before and that X created a suitcase bomb. Where the fuck is the evidence of that? She says, oh yes, it's highly portable, you know. She goes on to say that nukes suck and they're deadly and things are bad. And that's that. I'll leave you with a brief glimpse of Ek and I'll see you next time.
Anya, X escaped, flying off in a helicopter. Track that chopper down! Where's my transport?
Oh yeah! Oh yeah, I'm John McClane!